Schmoes Know presents HorrorFlix, a podcast covering all things horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers in the world of cinema. And now, here are your hosts, Cobbster and Cody.
You ever seen the video, like, Voldemort's a creep? And it shows all the clips from that movie where he's just being totally fucking creepy. Like sexually, it's weird. Like, it's probably just like a creepy Voldemort laugh, and he's like, hee hee hee, and he does it like 3 times in the movie.
That is our intro.
That's our, oh shit.
What's up, horror fans? Welcome back.
That's how you come back.
That's
from
how
a
we come
hiatus
back.
right there.
Yes.
Talk about creepy Voldemort stuff.
What's up, guys? We were on a little bit of a break, and we apologize for that. A little busy.
First week was my fault because
first week was your fault.
Apparently, I had to get wisdom teeth taken out.
You were out doing drugs, and then the drugs got stuck in your wisdom teeth, and you got to get pulled out. It was this whole spiel, but you're a lot better now, right?
I'm better now. Yeah, the drugs are out of my system. Don't inhale crystal meth through your teeth.
Good, duly noted.
It didn't even make sense. But
no, it's okay. And then the second week was probably a mixture of both. Work's been crazy busy.
Yeah, for me too.
I mean, saving the planet isn't that easy, so you know you got to do what you got to do. But guys, this is HorrorFlix, man.
It felt good to hear that intro by Ken again.
Yes, absolutely. We're back. We're talking about horror films. It feels like I've just been distant. Like I've left my child at daycare for the past 2 weeks,
just like,
and
I haven't been able. Alive.
Yeah, hope you guys are still out there. Hope you guys are still listening, and thank you everyone for asking where we've been and stuff. We apologize. This won't happen a lot. Promise you. We're gonna get back in the swing of things. We got some big stuff coming up really soon. We got obviously Comic-Cons next week. I don't know much about horror stuff going down except for like Crimson Peak and Krampus that's gonna be there. So that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're back, Cody. We're back.
Fun. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. And today we're going to be talking about the Paranormal Activity franchise.
Yeah.
A very mixed kind of feelings towards this franchise. From I think a lot of people.
It started out so incredible. Like
absolutely.
This was, for the first few, this was like one of my favorite franchises in horror. And then, you know, as with all things, you know, good things start to turn shitty after a while.
Yeah. I mean,
and we'll see how it ends later this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why we're talking about this is because the ghost dimensions say that.
I love how you couldn't even get that out.
Yeah, you can say that with a straight face. Hey, Timmy, do you want to go see Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension? What is that? A cartoon?
If someone actually goes out to the box office and is like, "Can I get one for Paranormal Activity 5: The Ghost Dimension?" I'm gonna shoo them away. Like,
can I get one for that whole dimensional thing?
Yeah.
The one with the girls. So we're gonna talk about the whole franchise from 1, 2, 3, 4, spoiler filled. The marked ones, and then at the very end, we'll give our thoughts about the actual trailer itself and what we're expecting from the new movie. So we'll do all that. We'll read your guys' comments. We'll have some fun. But before we do that, we're not going to talk about any horror news just yet. We'll wait for after Comic-Con and see if we get some stuff. Well, actually, you know what? There was the Ash versus the Evil Dead stuff. Did you see the trailer? I didn't see the trailer.
I saw the pixtures though.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next week. Shit. I just thought about it. Are we going to be able to do it next week because of Comic-Con?
We might as well try.
Fuck.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, maybe we can do one in the hotel room or something like that when we're really hammered or something.
We should do a hammered horror flip.
Yeah, we should have everyone in on it. I think that'd be fun. If we can, we'll try to fit it in.
Let's do this.
We'll try to fit it in. I'll bring in the mics and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm so down.
But what we really wanted to talk about was the Scream pilot. It aired this week on MTV, which I didn't even know. I found out on Twitter. People were tweeting me saying, "Hey, did you watch it?" And I was like, "Oh shit, no."
I didn't even realize it started.
I honestly wasn't going to watch it, but my brother, who's a big Scream fan too, he wanted to watch it with me, so we watched it together. And we'll do like a very, very quick review. No, we won't spoil anything. Maybe if we try not to. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
It's a pilot episode.
Yeah,
you know, there's not too much to spoil. I wasn't gonna watch it either until you sent me a text to watch it, and I was like, well, shit, I don't want to look stupid and not be prepared for the show, so I watched it.
Yeah, we're professionals here. We're professionals. We do as much as we possibly can. We may not know actors' names. We may not know how to pronounce stuff or remember what movies we're specifically were, or even seen horror films because of JTE, but we're still professional in a certain sense. So
absolutely.
You know, our first initial thoughts were kind of negative because we've seen the trailer.
Yeah, we thought it looked terrible.
Yeah, it looked very typical. But I gotta say, dude, and I know how you feel about this, and we'll get to you in a second, but I really enjoyed this first pilot. I thought it was so fucking clever. It was so Scream. That's the thing.
Okay.
The majority of it. I have problems with it. It isn't perfect. It's an MTV show. It's gonna have that like young teen kind of humor. But the weird thing is that it's still very meta, because Scream was very much like that. It was very much of its time and how the teenagers acted around that time. And this is a much more modern adaptation of that. And I had to respect it a little bit, because as much as I hate when they incorporate like texting or social media or whatever it may be into movies, it's so relevant that it works.
Okay.
So, and in that sense, and then there's specific scenes in here that I really thought were fucking awesome. But your take,
look, you said it felt like Scream to you. It felt like Scream to me for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
Which is the scene we talked about earlier, the monologue scene that's in the previews and the commercials and all, so it's not a spoiler. But this monologue saying like you can't really do it, make a slasher as a TV show. And it was cool. That was a great scene. I like that they acknowledge the fact that this is probably gonna be a tough show to pull off, but they're going for it. Other than that, maybe it's just the way, teenagers are portrayed in
probably
TV shows now, but I couldn't care less about any of these people.
Right. And that goes back into the whole thing about the actual monologue it's like they're kind of poking fun at themselves, because saying you have to care about these characters. You got to get to know them. It's like,
oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't there was nothing about these characters, with the exception of the main character, because I thought she was really great. Emma, I believe her name was. And even like the mom a little bit here and there, and even the girl who was filmed, the bisexual chick. I thought she was really cool too.
I thought the mom was kind of shoehorned in there though. I wasn't really like.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that in a second with the whole like subplot of the whole killer and the old story and stuff like that. But I like it set it up perfectly in the sense of like an actual slasher. You've got the virgin, even though she probably is not a virgin, but the jock, the douche, the prom queen, the geek, and all that stuff.
The fool.
Honestly, the first 10 minutes I thought were like perfect.
You like the opening scene?
I love the opening scene.
They did a classic Scream thing, because Bella Thorne is probably the biggest name in this cast.
Yeah.
And she's the Drew Barrymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
she's the one who gets killed off first, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. And the way they incorporated, I mean, they obviously didn't bring back the great voice. I always forget the name.
They gotta find
Jackson.
I know, I forget it too. They gotta find a way to bring that back at some point in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a voice later on that calls the main character, but they instead of a voice this time around, they did it through text message, and I thought that was really effective.
That was cool. It was effective for the times. Yeah,
absolutely. And then not only that, the first death scene, but also that conversation that they have in the classroom was very reminiscent of the Scream movies and how they're bringing it. They're kind of self-aware, and I thought that was just really brilliant. Now, once you get kind of into the story, you get to know the characters a little bit more. What I will say about all these characters is that I love that they're all flawed, that they're all at one point seem like they're gonna backstab each other, and that's what it seems like a big key element to this thing. And even you and I were talking on the way to Schmoes today that like we have no idea who the fuck the killer is.
Yeah, I mean I have a couple guesses, but there's no. I'll applaud them on that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who they're gonna go with on this, or if it's multiple people, or if it's just one person.
Yeah.
Good job there.
Hopefully they don't go the route like the first movie, like identically to the first movie, where it's like just the boyfriend and the boyfriend's friend. But this one, it sets it up like what the hell was up with the geeky kid and his forehead that was cut? The lesbian chick, she reveals the picture of the deformed dude, and all these different things.
Yeah, you learned the main girl's one recording that video in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or the one part of it.
All these people are not that great of people, even if they're set up to be the main protagonists and stuff. What I will say is that this show isn't just like a Scream show. It's got a mixture of Friday the 13th. It's got a mixture of I Know What You Did Last Summer, and even
hold on, are your lights dimming right now? You see that?
That was because of the air conditioning.
Okay,
Relax.
I was freaking the hell out right now. I was like, why is this?
Relax.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Toby's right behind you. Don't worry.
No.
It's got, and then it's also got a mixture of like the town that dreaded sundown, where it was like there was a killer at one point in this city. So it mixes all these elements together, which I thought was really interesting. But the whole deformed kid kind of backstory, I'm not completely sold on. It wasn't necessary. It was almost like we were talking about earlier. Just why was it called Scream? Why was it called Scream?
Like that right there felt like sorry, what am I thinking of?
Hatchet?
Not Hatchet.
Friday the 13th. I'm not cutting this
out.
Yeah,
Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Why can't I think of that? That's stupid.
No,
anyway,
barely.
that one felt like Friday the 13th more than it did Scream. And I was like, that's cool if you're going to incorporate all of the horror, franchises into this to make it Scream.
Yeah.
But that was only one.
You never know.
Hellraiser could do it's a series. They could do it.
Yeah.
Throughout. So
they could go to space, and then maybe two of these killers can kill each other and stuff like Hellraiser.
Please take this show into space.
That'd be pretty great.
You gonna keep watching it?
I think so. Yeah, I think this first episode really did sell me.
I'm gonna try to. Yeah.
I mean, hats off to MTV for kind of pulling something out.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are big fans of Teen Wolf. I personally haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
I could care less about it, to be honest with you. I've heard good things about it, even from people that aren't just fans of just the fans in general, like horror fans and stuff. So, and the death was pretty brutal in the beginning too.
Yeah, that was the only death scene.
Yeah, it was
the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can't kill a lot of people off because
right. You got to stretch it out. How many episodes? It's like 8 episodes.
It can't be too long. Yeah.
I hope it's not too long.
Yeah,
it's got to be really short. See, if they did it in the True Detective sense, where they keep it really short, like almost just like a really long movie, I don't mind that. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's just see how this kind of progresses. It's kind of got like the WB sort of teenage acting now.
Maybe that's what turned me off about it.
I don't think you're gonna get much better.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's yeah. I mean, it honestly wasn't that bad. Let us know
for
out
what
there.
we were thinking going into it. It was not terrible.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
But honestly, I will say that there was one really really creepy part. I didn't mind the mask. I honestly didn't mind the mask. The mask looks more. The mask looked more terrible in just a still, but when it was actually in person, I didn't mind it as much.
There.
But once again, why call it Scream? Why try to relate it? It is doing something different at least, but there's no reason for it to be called Scream other than just for people to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
even then, it didn't even work. I think the pilot only did like 1 million people.
Really?
Maybe 11. Yeah.
I don't know how that is for MTV. I don't know if that's good for them.
I know Teen Wolf does pretty good.
Did it pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
well, I will say that there was one really creepy scene when the killer's just standing there and it shows him for a split second. I thought it was actually
like very
genuinely, I thought it was like genuinely creepy. But then other than that, nothing else. But let us know what you guys thought about the Scream pilot. Tweet at us at me and Cobbster15 at the Real Cody Hall. Hashtag at HorrorFlix and let us know what you guys thought about it. We want to hear your guys' thoughts as well.
Maybe we'll revisit it when the season's over.
Yeah, we can do like a little recap of it too. I'm not gonna do a week by week kind of thing.
I don't think people are tuning in to hear.
Nah, I don't think so.
Of Scream.
No, they just want to hear us talk about Billy. Stacy's cursing and I don't know Ringo.
Ringo.
He's sleeping in the corner. You fucking lazy shit. So let's get into this fucking series, man. Paranormal Activity. This is this came out 2009.
It was a wide release in 2009. I believe it went to the festival circuit in 06 or 07.
That's right. Because I think it originated from Scream Fest, and then
Slam Dance.
Slam Dance was like the bigger one. Yeah. But I think Scream Fest is what originally it aired from.
But for us, it was 09.
09. Yes, official wide release.
Went on that hype train and just fucking ran off the rails.
It really did. I mean, the hype around this movie, they did it smart. The marketing was really smart. It's showing the reactions from people actually watching this movie. Obviously, marketing it as like the scariest movie of all time.
It's gonna get butts in seats.
Yeah, absolutely. And is it the scariest movie of all time? No, but is it effective? The first time you see it. The first time you see it. After that, it loses a little bit of something, like most movies do. But this one in particular is a mindfucker.
Fucked me up so bad, dude. This is one I brought this up before, but this is one of the first just full-on horror experiences I've had as like a teenager, back in the day. I could not sleep for at least 2 or 3 days after watching this. It wasn't like I was just terrified. I just couldn't get some images from this movie and just these moments out of my head. You can't sleep when you're thinking of someone getting dragged out of bed, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like it feels so real because it's almost like they pulled these two people off the street. Like, hey, you guys are regular people. You guys want to be in this movie?
You
Sure.
want to make a movie, kids?
Yeah, because the acting isn't great. It's not good, really. But it feels very real in that sense, and when the two actually start like butting heads with each other, that's when it really gets scary for me.
Yeah, it felt real.
Yeah, because it's like they're not on it, like they're at each other's throats when this huge thing is trying to get them, and that's exactly what it wants. It's starting to tear them apart, and that's more scary because when there's nothing scarier than being alone. And so I remember seeing this. I think it was 2000. Yeah, so I think I was
October of 09.
October of 09. I remember I was going to a dance. I had a dance, like I think it was like fucking homecoming or something like that, senior year. And the movie didn't necessarily hit me right away. Like I walked out of the movie and I was like, that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool. Slow. And then it was early on in the day when we saw it. I get home and I go, I'm gonna take a nap before we all go to the dance and stuff. And I fucking woke up so fucking afraid. Like, I woke up thinking somebody was watching me the entire time. I'm hearing shit in my hallways. I'm closing all my doors. I cannot sleep with my foot out of the
neither.
blanket. I have to be fully covered.
Even if it's too hot in like the summertime where you don't need a blanket, I put like a pillow over my feet.
Yeah,
I cannot leave that shit open.
Sorry,
like,
body. I'm sweating. You're gonna lose some weight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
you said you saw it during the day and then you went home?
Yeah, I saw it during the day.
I saw it at night. I was afraid to go back in my house.
Yeah,
like I dropped my buddy off. I'm like, hey, see you later, man. Hey, you want to hang out for a little bit?
Yeah, that's always that was the case for 2 and 3 when I did see them. It was coming home. It's like, fuck, I gotta walk to the parking lot by myself.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. And that's some of the best parts. That's kind of reason why we love going to see these movies. It's being scared.
The way it makes you feel afterwards.
Yeah, like dreading it, having to check your closet, you fucking hear a creak in the hallway.
I used to sleep with my door open. Not anymore.
Oh, you don't know.
Never again.
No, one little crack, because my house, creep my fucking house.
Yeah, your fucking lights are flickering off in the middle of our podcast here.
Well, sometimes there'd be a draft in my hallway and my door will just fucking close, especially if the windows are open. So I'm like,
don't you hate that?
Anybody home? Anybody? No? Toby, you there?
Just gave me chills.
Yeah.
I remember watching this. Like I watched it like right before it like exploded. Like I heard about it. I was into the movie scene. So I heard the rumblings of this horror movie that was like, oh, you had to demand it to see it in your theater or in your city. And I guess my city did it. And I remember seeing it, man. Ugh.
What would you say some of your scariest moments? Like, what would you say the scariest moment in the first one?
Everyone goes to the leg dragging scene. I love the ending, the theatrical one where she throws Mika at the camera and all that, and lunges at it.
We could talk about
a lot of people
the other
don't like
too.
that, but I'd probably go. The one that really shocked me, I think, the most was just it wasn't even that scary of a scene, but the fact when it's during the day and they're in there, they're like, this thing's not leaving us, and then it like blows on her hair. Or something like that. That scared me because nothing ever happens in horror movies during the day.
During the day?
That one did. And it was like, oh my God. And it's like, this is becoming so real right now.
Yeah.
I loved it. What about you?
I probably have to say, okay, well, excuse me. I do think the dragging out of the bed one is the most terrifying because not necessarily her getting dragged out of bed, but it was when she goes in the dark hallway and starts screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't see anything that's happening because the door closes and she just starts screaming and screaming. I think that's, for me, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Nothing is probably happening to her. She's probably still getting dragged away, but the thought of her getting dragged away into a room, like, what was it going to do?
Yeah, what was
it trying to do to her? There's nothing more scary than that. But for me, honestly, the most intense fucking scene is they got the camera set up. They're sleeping in their bed. The door is wide open, and you just hear the steps. You hear the footsteps coming up. Doom, 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 and then you just hear boom, and the door closes. Like it's so simple, just closing a door like that. But that sound effect of just like a creature being inside, like it's fucking terrifying.
What was his logic behind that? He's like, I'm walking up. Oh, I'm fuck with these people so bad.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, there's an audience watching. I need to step really loudly.
This is why I like the villain in this series because he it seems like he has a sense of humor.
A little bit, yeah. Especially as the series goes on.
A fucking demon, dude. Like this guy is fucking with these people, and it's so funny.
Let's see. Let's jump on a Facebook comment. Xavier Ben Chagra. Jesus. Already starting. The first one as my then girlfriend was convinced it was real. She thought we were watching a Ghost Hunter special, as she was scared to death and was freaking out. I had to tell her it was a movie about 1 hour into the movie. This was such a great experience.
I want to go off on that because I said before, like I saw it before it really exploded. So I'm stupid for thinking this, but when I saw it, I kind of thought it was real. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know, they portrayed it so well. Like, we want to thank the San Diego Police Department.
This is essentially, I mean, Blair Witch Project is still part of our generation, but it's like almost saying Paranormal Activity is like this generation's or this new wave of a Blair Witch-esque type of movie where people, I think. Obviously, back then, it was a little bit easier to believe that something like this was real, especially because Blair Witch was such a raw movie. Whereas this one, the quality isn't necessarily great. It gets better on as the movies go, which is ironic because the third movie takes place like in the 80s, and it's the best-looking movie.
That's true.
It's there were some people out there that probably believed that it was real for the first couple of weeks.
10 minutes after walking out of the theater, I'm like, dude, that was fucking real. I'm like, what the hell? And my buddy's like, no, that's
just a credit to Oren Peli and what they did with that first movie. Yeah. Because if you watch it now, like I said earlier,
it's a slow movie.
It is very slow. Because I said early on, like the first time you watch it, it's an experience, and as you watch it more and more, it doesn't really have that great of replayability. But I like the fact that it's got a slow pace, that it sets up these characters a little bit more, and you get to know them and you get to see them their ultimate downfall, and the fact that they live by themselves just makes it creepy too. It's like no one there is really to help them.
Nothing can help. Like they brought in the priest guy. He's like, guys, I gotta leave. I'm making it worse.
I'm fucking out.
That was such a creepy scene. He's like, I'm making it more angry. I gotta go. I'm like, what?
Yeah, the fact that you can't see it.
Yeah. Dylan Esposito says, I love the first one based off the true creepiness and grittiness that I hadn't seen since the Blair Witch Project. It was also one of the first movies going experiences where I remember being so freaked out by everyone else's reactions almost as much as I did the film itself. The gasping and people holding onto each other was something that almost no horror movie has done since. What makes the first one the best as well as the alternate endings that they filmed and thought about. I still love the ending, but the knife across the throat, the cop ending, and the one they almost filmed where Katie bashes Mika's head in the camera and you see it all from the camera's POV are all really awesome in their own way.
Yeah, I'm glad that he brought up the alternate endings because honestly, like, as much as I like 2 and I love 3, spoiler, I kind of
the original,
if Katie would have just died in the first movie, because I prefer the cop ending one just because it feels more real, where they just shoot her down, and that would have been it. It would have been a one-off, and that's all you needed. You didn't need a motivation. You didn't need this whole backstory with the cult or these little girls, or it went back years and years, which is all fine and everything, but it keeps the imagination alive. Like, what the hell was this demon trying to do?
What
like,
the hell
was
did we
purpose?
just watch, guys?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Instead of just answering everything.
Yeah.
And then the other alternate endings too. I mean, this new ending, it was a Spielberg ending, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spielberg advised them to reshoot it and do it again.
So weird. Like,
I like it though.
And I do like the ending too. Yeah, it's effective.
Out of me.
Yeah, it's effective. But it's like, it's weird to think about, like, out of everyone, Steven Spielberg, like, what is he doing with this movie? Did you just liked it a lot?
Yeah, I forget how he, got in touch with it. I think they just run through that festival circuit somehow. Maybe he was at one of them, or he knew someone that was, and they showed it to him.
But how fucking awesome is that for Oren Peli and everyone like involved with this? What was it, a $10,000 budget on this film?
15
something
grand,
super small, and then someone like Spielberg comes along. He's like, "Hey, let me just do this ending for you, and we'll fucking blast it out, and you make $1 bajillion, and then never do anything after that again."
Don't even think about the Area 51 movie you're planning on. Don't do it.
Poor thing.
Going back on Dylan's comment, he was saying he loved people's reactions to it.
Oh yeah,
I'm right there with him. People fucking walked out of my theater when I was there, just from being scared.
You saw it like with the packed house.
Oh yeah.
See, I saw it at Downtown Disney with like 6 people in the theater.
That's a good. Oh really?
That's really weird.
I was gonna make a joke about seeing it at Disneyland, but that's pretty bad. Okay.
I just remember the posters going around like the "See It Now" kind of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's see. Brian Fernandez says the first movie is always going to be the choice of which one is better than the others. There are many scenes that build tension in the movie, but the scene that scared me is the ending when Katie was evil faced and goes towards the camera. Yeah,
see? He's
and also it was at a time where not every single horror film was doing that necessarily. So and that's really like the only bit of special effects, because it's very a lot of it's very practical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like even the Ouija board catching on fire.
No, that was probably
that was
practical.
Yeah, it was very practical.
That's pretty easy.
The face thing was the only. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And back to the screaming thing too. Even when she at the very end when she just starts screaming, even though you find out later on in the marked ones why she was actually screaming, but the fact that you weren't able to see anything was just terrifying.
Yeah.
I was like in my head, I was like, is she fucking floating around? Is she on the floor? Like, what is going on with her?
Man, I love the first movie, dude.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Jen Kemp says, I respect the first movie for the concept and execution with its more mentally and eerie tone. Absolutely. It is a very eerie movie. It's not easy to watch. No. It really isn't. You can't just pop it on anytime. The scene when the blanket first moves and Katie is dragged off legitimately frightened me. However, in terms of rewatchability, I have to choose the third one. Well, we'll get into the third one in just a bit. But absolutely, the rewatchability isn't necessarily that great, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's not a great film, because I think it's a great horror film.
As far as scares go, I'm afraid to go on YouTube and look up clips of this movie.
Because then you'll start.
I don't want to experience it again. I'm like, that was insane.
It may not have the rewatchability, but it does have the scareability. It definitely sticks with you. Like, I haven't seen it in a very long time, and I did it on purpose because I've seen this movie plenty of times.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't feel like thinking about that stuff right now. I'm at a happy point right now in my life.
Man. I want to be able to sleep later.
Yeah, exactly.
One more comment for the movie. Ricardo Vargas says, I actually saw the first Paranormal Activity on my deployment to Afghanistan. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service,
and
my
thought
friend.
it was real, just like me. The version I saw was when the girl gets shot down by the police. Really? That was okay. So we saw the original ending then.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He got to go to a different country and see that.
Yeah, cool. Great.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I like the original ending just a little bit more, at least one of the original endings. So yeah, I think overall, I would say, God, I would argue, I can't say that this is the best one. Like, you know how like
not the best all around movie.
It's like you got the 6 Rocky movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first one's obviously the best one, but my favorite's the third one.
Okay,
I don't know if I can say that with a franchise like this. Like, I can't say that the first one is the best one because I'll get to it in a bit, but I do think another one in this franchise is the best one, and it is my favorite one. But before we get to that one, let's jump over to Paranormal Activity 2.
Let's go to the great days of 2010 now.
2010,
we're
a year later. Obviously, these movies are fairly easy to make.
Yeah.
They're very quick to shoot. They're very cheap, and they make a shit ton of money. So, obviously, Paranormal Activity made a crap ton of money, and what are the studios going to say? Let's make another one.
Anticipation for this one was through the roof, dude. I remember seeing a trailer in the theater, and I was looking away because they kept showing the scene from the ending from the first movie. And I'm like, I don't want to see this again. I'm like, no. But I remember, I'm so curious.
I was so like, this was in a time when I didn't hate trailers as much as I do now.
Yeah.
I was like aching for something. I remember just. I think the first thing that was released was a short little teaser of like Katie in a room with the dog. And then that's all it shows. Like, oh my God, fuck yeah. Because I literally knew almost nothing going into this movie because there was a certain point in the movie that I was really surprised because at the start of the film, I didn't know when this movie was taking place. I didn't know. I always assumed that it was after the first movie because they didn't really set it up and I wasn't really getting into this whole synopsis or anything. And so, going into this is the first one that I did see with the packed house. And same thing as the first movie. First time seeing it scared the shit out of me. Yeah. Absolutely did. Very effective and very creative. These movies get a little bit more creative as it goes along, at least for 2 and 3. And This one justified the use of recording at all times because of security cameras. You can go back and through. I love the characters in this one. They're a lot more sympathetic. Acting was a lot better in this one.
Great in this movie.
Because they actually got actors.
They
got actual
like,
actors.
Legit trained actors.
The girl who plays the stepmom, I can't remember her actual name, but she was in a season of 24. That's where I remember her from, which was pretty cool. And I don't think I'd seen the dad from anything, or like the boyfriend, or even the daughter. But I thought the dad was a great fit to this because he was a comedic sort of. He wasn't necessarily funny, but there was just really funny moments with him.
Yeah. The pool cleaner jumps up out of the water.
Oh yeah. He's just messing with them.
And it just jumps out.
Speaking of the pool, is it a delete? Is that a deleted scene or like a director's cut where the dad jumps into the pool or into the hot tub and it's extremely hot and like he gets mad at the daughter? I can't remember if that's part of the movie or if it's a deleted scene.
I don't remember much happening with the pool, like at all. So maybe that is a deleted scene.
Okay, I think it actually might be. Because I remember, and this isn't the first time this series has done this, is where it showed stuff in the trailers that wasn't in the movie at all. Because there's a scene in the trailers that shows the little boy like in the middle of the street, and that never happens, And I still this day, I don't own the movies on Blu-ray.
That wasn't even just a trailer. I remember that being a clip that they released online.
So I've never seen it, and apparently there was like an alternate ending to this one as well.
Really?
But back to like the actual timeline of this movie, what really surprised me in the film, because obviously this movie it takes place before, during, and then after the first movie.
To try to describe. It's like 90% a prequel.
Yes. It's a prequel,
like a current tool.
Cool.
So
yeah, that's a good word. Current tool, and then a sequel.
And then it's like
it jumps back and forth. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because this movie, it's with the main character is Katie's sister and her whole family that they're dealing with.
Little hints about their past. And
yes,
all that.
Little hints here and there. It ties into the first movie, and then halfway through, not even halfway, maybe like within the first 20 minutes of the movie, Mika and Katie show up.
Yeah.
And when they show up, I was like, wait, are they forgetting everything that happened in the first movie? Are they just blew it away? It was like an ordeal. And then the titles show up, something before Mika's death.
Yeah,
I was
like
like
2 months before Mika died.
oh my fucking god, this is brilliant.
Whoa,
This is really cool.
First time I saw Katie and she's acting all normal, I'm like, what the fuck is this demon done with her, dude? I'm like, wait, what's going on?
And then as the movie's progressing, she's slowly hinting like, hey, there's some shit going on in my house.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of it. And so the end of this movie is the result of what happens at the end of the first movie in that sense, so it all ties together. I thought that was really brilliant.
I would say this one, the actual ending, like the very last like minute or so, is probably the weakest of the series, maybe. I mean, except maybe Marked Once. Marked Once is pretty bad. But
yeah,
I don't know, I liked everything building up to it. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a big scare at the end for this one.
No, but
you know
actually,
what
what terrified me is when the dad actually dies.
Yeah.
When he just splits the head. I was like, man. It like really creeped me out because of the whole screaming and stuff. But yeah, and Katie just comes and power kicks her sister and kills her just up into the camera. Yeah, Hadouken. Yeah. That'd be great if they added that effect in there.
That's got to be on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's another good scene in this is the like the exorcism scene, pretty much, when Christy gets possessed.
Yeah,
and they're down in the basement.
Oh, and they go in the basement,
and like she's making these weird fucking noises, and the water's going all over the place, and they have to save her and bring her back. And like when they're passing her over to Katie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great scene. That's
Only thing that I hate about this is the dog. They don't kill the dog, but they injure it, and I hate when they do that.
There's no reason to do that.
Pisses me off. Yeah, like I said earlier, like just like the first movie, this doesn't necessarily have the best rewatchability either.
No.
Because it's fairly boring too, and it's not in the sense like where it's like a slow pace. It's just not a lot really happens. But when things do happen, they happen. And we talked about this earlier too. Is that this movie probably has one of the best jump scares?
It's my favorite jump scare of
all time.
Yeah,
I honestly had no fucking idea because it's that same factor of it's the daytime. You think we're safe, you think we're fine. It's that Insidious thing where they're just talking to each other and then something fucking happens.
Yeah,
she's literally sitting in the kitchen for a good like 2 or 3 minutes straight without happening. She hears one thing in the corner. She looks. She's like, "The fuck is that?" Then boom.
That's like
everything just jumps out. All the cabinets, all the fucking seats.
No, it's not just boom. It's boom.
It's as much as I hate jump scares. It's like
that's how you do it.
That's how you fucking do it. You don't do it. And plus, there's no music in these movies. It's all natural sounds.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, hey, pun, something stupid like that. It's like, it's really effective. And that's what I have to tip my hat off with these first 3 movies is that they get so inventive with not just the camera angles, but with just the content of what they're dealing with and how they make scares. It's awesome.
Oh, it's great, man. I love that scene. It really... that shit happens all the time when you're in your kitchen, you're just sitting out and you hear a noise and you're like, what the fuck was that?
And then everything just fucking shoots out. You're like, God
when
damn
that
it,
happens?
Toby.
Oh, come on.
You son of a bitch.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love to, dude.
It's
really underrated.
It is, yeah. And then building off of that, what you mentioned earlier about the cameras is that it made more sense because most of the movie is security cameras, and then there's a couple times when they walk around the house with the actual camera itself. But you would think, I mean, like it was like a Resident Evil kind of thing where it's like just fixed camera angles, and it made it more brilliant to do so because they set it up at the very beginning, like, oh, they think someone broke into the house, and so all right, let's set up these video cameras, and now we have our movie. It's an excuse. It's more believable than somebody walking around with a camera the entire movie.
And I have to record this, all of this at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's straight away from that typical, like, hey, let's film everything, we have to document this and stuff. And then it does get a little bit more into the lore. They try to figure out what this like whole demon thing is, and there's this like prophecy about like getting the child, the firstborn son, or whatever it may be. And
Christian Harding says 2 is his favorite because it has the most likable characters and ties into the original without going too far like some of the later ones.
Yes.
Again, with the characters thing, there's a great scene in this when the dad and the daughter are arguing about passing the demon over to Katie. And he's like, well, what do you... It's either this... He's like, this is your baby brother. Like, we have to do this. And she's like, oh, my God, it's a great scene.
They're the whole reason why the first movie actually happens. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is a really great scene.
Great.
Gosh, man. Good shit. Good shit. You guys pulling this stuff up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the second one, like I said, not as good as the first movie, I think, but definitely has some moments. And I enjoyed it. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it might be.
Not at all.
I think it gets a little bit of a bad rep. But I think it's pretty solid. Yeah. Pretty solid one. Pretty solid sequel.
Let's jump ahead another year, Cobbster.
Jump into Paranormal Activity 3.
The great year 2011 right
2011, and this is by far my favorite one.
After like Here in the years,
dude, we're 23. When we're hanging out with the schmoes and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you kids are so young."
Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, we graduated high school after this. It's crazy. Too long ago.
Well.
But
2011, Paranormal Activity 3.
Yes. Paranormal Activity 3. Now, this is full-on a prequel because this takes place years and years before 1 and 2. I think back in the 80s, this is when Katie and Christy, Katie and Christy, when they are little girls and little girls in white dresses. And no, thank you. That is some scary shit.
A little creepy.
And like I joked earlier, like this is the best looking one, and it's supposed to be in the 80s. I honestly wouldn't have minded if they filmed it like it were in the like with an actual VHS or anything like that. But it's fine.
They had a joke saying like the camera's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
For the time. So I mean, I guess I understand.
That's totally fine. And so what you get to this one, they're kids in this one. And the dad, he's not the dad. He's like
not the dad. He's
boyfriend.
the mom's boyfriend.
Mom's boyfriend.
Don't ever know what happened to the dad, actually.
No, we could probably find that in a later one. And so so that
weird shit
starts happening, kind of typical stuff.
And he decides to record it on awesome camera angles, by the way.
Yes, awesome camera angles.
You got the fan cam. You got the one upstairs in the kids' room. That one has some of the best scenes, I think. I mean, the fan cam's incredible, just for the practicality of it.
Absolutely.
But some of the scariest moments in this thing, like when they're running around, are they playing tag or something like that?
Yeah,
and then the little girl just slams into a clear wall.
Oh, right. And she just stays
bumps
there.
into Toby.
And she's like looking up. She's like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't see it at all.
And then like starts throwing her around and all that. That scene gives me chills.
It's
man.
A lot of good stuff. This one definitely, I think, was even scarier for me because it's just everything. There was always something happening in every scene. You know, whether it was setting something up or if it was an actual scare. You know, you like felt when the scares were happening. It'd always be like that. Like it would be like the humming. They do that in the first two movies too, but they did it pretty effectively in this one.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, when you got no music, you got to use something to build tension, and I think that works really well.
You talk about the before scenes that were in the trailers that weren't in the movie.
This one was
Bloody Mary
all
scene.
over it. The Bloody Mary scene.
Yeah.
When one of the priests comes over to the house and his head gets bashed into the table. I'm trying to think what else. There's one where in the trailer, it's just like, my friend Toby is like, yeah, where is he? He's like standing right behind you. They do that scene and she looks back, but nothing happens. But in the trailer, it knocks over like the art thing. So even when like we'll talk about the Ghost Dimensions trailer in a little bit, even like I don't know what to expect from that. How much do I know is even going to be in the movie? You know?
Yeah.
And so I wish we would have seen all those extra scenes because it could have added a little bit something more, or maybe wouldn't have added really anything.
I think the whole final, I don't want to jump ahead to the ending, obviously, but the final 10 minutes of this thing are
fucking terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You know I don't like cults.
Yeah.
Do not like cults whatsoever. And I just think I don't really get scared a lot of the times with death scenes when actual death are creepy, but when they actually kill the boyfriend and his back snaps forward, it's really creepy. It's very, very creepy. Yeah.
Why?
And probably my favorite scene in this entire film is the ghost sheet.
Oh yeah,
the babysitter.
Yeah.
So you get the cam. So this is what's so brilliant about this movie is how they're able to inventively make scares even better and better as the movies went on. At least for the first three movies. Yeah. They take a fan and they take it apart.
Just a normal rotating fan.
And they put a camera on it and they have it rotate left and right so they can get all angles. Brilliant. Is there a jump scare here and there that messes with it a little bit? Sure. Yeah. Where the babysitter jumps in and boo, it does a little stuff like that. Some little cheap scares, but that's fine. That's fun. But there's a scene where the babysitter is just sitting on the table, and you go from her, you see she's minding her business. It goes to the far left at the very, very edge of where she's at. Relax.
Fucking lights.
The lights flickering on and off again. The air conditioning's coming on. Relax. You're gonna be cold in a second.
I hear a rumbling.
If you're getting cold, it's not because there's a ghost in here. It's because of the air conditioner.
It's a terrible environment to do this
set
podcast.
really low. It's set at like
happy.
68.
Okay.
And so it goes to the far left, and you see the sheet there. You're like, oh fuck, okay. And at first you're like, okay, the little girl's playing a joke. It goes back to the babysitter, and it goes back. It gets even closer.
Yeah.
It goes back to the babysitter. It's gone. It goes back to the babysitter. It's right behind her, and just as the babysitter feels someone behind her, and she turns around, the sheet just falls. And as soon as the sheet falls, the camera pans away to a completely different area. And you're just like, wait, go back, go back.
Yeah,
and then she's like, and then she's just checking out the scene and nothing fucking happens.
Yeah.
But she only gets attacked when she goes upstairs, I think, right? And
I think so. Yeah.
And then she's just totally freaked out. She's waiting by the door, and then just see you later. Boom! She just takes off. Such a creepy scene. Very, very
damn
creepy.
Fan cam, dude. That one also had another great scene where it's going by and it shows all the kitchen. Goes back, and then it goes back again. Everything in the kitchen's gone. You're like, what?
Where did
Wait, what just happened? And it goes off again.
It's especially after the second Paranormal Activity. You're expecting a fucking kitchen scene.
Yeah.
Every time we're in the kitchen, like, what the fuck? Where is it all at?
And it goes back. Everything just falls down. It was on
down.
the ceiling, right? That's where it all was, and it just falls down on the ground.
Yeah.
What the hell was that all about?
The oscillating fan was great, not only for those two scenes, but then there was the other one where they're in the kitchen, and it goes, you see the light, and it starts getting brighter and brighter until it actually pops.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great too. I mean, they do play Bloody Mary in this one too, right? But it's just totally different from what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer you actually see someone, presumably like Toby or an older Katie, standing behind them, like the shadow of them. And this one I don't think you do at all. Oh, they do it with the boyfriend's friend.
The boyfriend's friend,
the camera guy.
I thought was a pretty effective scene
and
too.
And like the scene happens in there, like he gets like not stabbed but like scratched or something.
Yeah, he gets
like
a
that,
little scratched.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was pretty cool too because you quickly see something flash by the door really quickly. I was like, shit, Toby gonna fuck shit up.
There's another this one's just creepy. Like when one of the girls wakes up in like the middle of the night and like starts playing with Toby, and she jumps off like the balcony of the stairs.
Yeah, and then she
climbs back up. And I was like, what?
How did she do that?
Crap?
He's catching her.
I was like,
yeah, absolutely.
3's so good, you guys.
Was anybody saying anything about
a lot of people are saying it. Let me just get down to the bottom here.
Well, Jen came back to what she was saying. I have to choose the third one as far as rewatchability. I felt more sympathy toward the characters than the whiny 20, 30-somethings of the previous two. Won't someone think of the children? Absolutely.
That's a good point.
When that little girl runs smack into the visible demon and is picked up by her hair, that was amazing. That's true. I totally forgot she gets picked up by the hair. Cool effects. And then that little cupboard room where it's all crammed up and drawn all over the place. Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot about that
creepy.
One. Pretty creepy. Casey Sitter says, I would say the third one is the best. It builds some amazing backstory and showed some amazing ways to use found footage. And that ending, oh man.
That ending,
keep on being awesome, guys. You keep on being awesome.
Oh, you're
Casey.
awesome. Thank you.
Anyway,
Thanks,
good
thanks,
points.
Casey. Absolutely, the ending is fucking terrifying, and it wraps it up so well. And even in not just like the old ladies or the old cult members too, but when you see the grandma like just faintly behind one of the windows because she's got like that crazy dry hair, is not cool. Not cool at all.
There's a scene where he goes back inside and he looks up the stairs and sees the girl, the mom, essentially,
just
being
floating.
like levitating and like getting thrown down. I'm like, oh my god. This movie had balls, dude. That's what I'm saying. This movie just went balls to the wall, going for it, and they hit it out of the park. I think 3 is great.
Except I would say the whole face thing got a little old to me because
with the kid.
Yeah, where she like turns around, her face is all whatever.
Look, this one they can get away with it, but it seems like a lot of horror movies
today,
and especially the series now, is just doing the thing where the little kids are being scary. You know what I mean? Like they just turn around like, it was scary the first time, but now they keep doing it.
Poltergeist did the same thing and didn't work. Austin East on Facebook says, I thought it was a really decent trilogy, and in my opinion, should have stopped after the third one. Absolutely. Between the fourth one and the marked ones, I felt though they were forced and they didn't fit with the story and felt very unnecessary. And the best moment has to be the ending of the first one, in my opinion, one of the scariest endings of all time. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, absolutely. I really wish they would have stopped here, but at the same time, they never really answered anything, which is fine, because especially if the first movie was the actual ending, well, technically the second movie where it ended, where she's still the kid, because this one, it doesn't answer anything. It just sets everything up. You find out why, you find out the picture, and but here's the thing too that was in the trailer that showed the house catching on fire.
Oh yeah,
that was a whole setup from the first two movies, and that was just never addressed.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's just I kind of was really bummed out about that.
Interesting. Jake Lopez, we brought this up before, but he says, like I said, the best death release is the third one. Has to be the best deaths. Whatever. He's talking about the ending of the third one when Toby kills the dad and bends his spine back. He has a perfect adjective for it. He says like a loaded crossbow.
Ooh,
so he's like pulling him back. Ah!
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Death scene was pretty creepy. And then you know what was actually really cool too? This one had almost like a poltergeist feel for me, especially at the very beginning when like the boyfriend and the mom are like doing a little bit, and then there's the earthquake that happens.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then they rush over the room. The camera stays there, and then when the dust falls onto the fucking demon, you just see it there. It kind of floats for a little bit, and then it just goes away.
Oh, I forgot about
that.
Very
creepy stuff.
I want to watch this again. This one actually, I want to go back and watch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like first one, I can't do it. I'm like, I don't want to feel that shit again. This one actually is a lot of fun.
They have a package of Paranormal Activity movies. Yeah. It's like the first 4. I don't know if it'd be worth it because of the 4th one. If they included the marked ones, I probably would, just get it all. I just want to see if there's the actual deleted scenes and stuff, on this thing. I don't know. I don't even know if there's like behind the scenes on it or anything because I want to check all that out. But definitely, Paranormal Activity 3 is hands down my favorite, and I think it is the best one of the series. So yeah, go check it out. I hope you did.
Now let's jump ahead another year here to 2012. This is
okay. So
2012. Paranormal Activity 4.
All right, next.
Yeah,
next.
Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
No, okay, look. These guys were on such a high. They were on a roll. They were really on a roll. I really thought that they couldn't fail. Like these guys just fucking kept going and going.
One had everything going for it. It was the first movie that was going to take place after
everything
the main story. You're like, oh my god, what's going to happen now?
New family.
You got the directors from the third movie coming back. It's like, oh, this is going to be great. You got Katie and the kid coming back. What's going to happen?
Nothing.
Not a whole lot.
Nothing happens.
Actually.
Very boring movie. Like this is the first Paranormal Activity where I sat there without having to. I wouldn't close my eyes, but I would like brace myself. Like I sat normally.
Yeah.
Even my girlfriend at the time, even her, like she's a scaredy cat, and even she just sat there and just like there was not one scene that I was genuinely scared about.
Except maybe the ending for me, just the very end, but that's just because it's this typical running through the house with the camera running away from shit.
That it like got me for a split second.
Yeah.
Like very briefly. Other than that, nothing. Nada. I thought the acting was really good.
Yeah.
That overall, I think most of the characters were fairly likable. I like the boyfriend. I thought he was a good, humorous character. Other than that, like I didn't care about the family members when they're getting killed off. I will say the only like highest tension scene there was with when the knife is floating in the air.
Up,
and I was like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere, and then it's kind of playing with it. The demon gets a little cocky in this one too. But again, it's like this movie was marketed to be like this is where it all led to. You know, it all led to this, and it answers nothing.
It led to nothing really.
No. Yeah, I honestly can't think of any scenes that genuinely freaked me out or that really stood out.
Maybe when, even though this one can kind of be made fun of, but when the mom dies, when she she's standing right in front of it and it breathes on her and you see the hair move, it's like that's actually pretty creepy. Then it like throws her to the ceiling, right?
Yeah,
and then like slams her back down. That's kind of comical in a way.
Yeah,
it wasn't
like
really terrifying. I mean, I'd be scared of it happening to me, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, it wasn't. If that's your best death scene in the movie.
Yeah,
you gotta do better than that.
One thing that I will say that was interesting was that Paranormal Activity creativeness to it. It's not the stupid Xbox because that's not real. That's the Kinect.
Kinect does not do that.
The Kinect doesn't do that shit. Yeah. It's the front door open.
Oh,
front door, because that's a real thing.
Yeah,
that's a fucking real thing. And I thought that was very creative. Obviously, it was in the trailer, so it didn't really affect me that much. Plus, I don't think like Skype or FaceTime records on anything, which is again a creative device for them to use to like I can sustain my beliefs for that. It's like fine, they've got a recorder on it that can record at all times and stuff, but other than that, nothing. And even like the front door open stuff was all in the trailers, so it was already stuff that I had seen before.
I thought the sequence when the girl's by herself, I haven't seen this since it came out, by the way, but when the girl's by herself and she has to run through the house and she goes into the garage and like the car is going off.
Remember, yeah.
I think it was trying to like suffocate her.
Yeah, not too bad.
And she has to crash through the garage door. I thought that sequence was pretty cool, well directed. Again, other than that, a whole lot of the movie is just sitting around, just talking to each other. Like nothing really happens. Unfortunately.
And like and stuff like that, I don't mind if they're talking to it, but it'd be interesting. Have some kind of interesting dynamic between the characters and stuff, you know. So, like, there really isn't a whole lot to say. I don't know if anybody out there really enjoyed this one who's on Facebook.
So. There might have been like one, but I like the ending. I know I just said it, but I like the ending when she's running through the house. She turns around, and all those freaking cult people are there again.
Yeah.
Although it was a nice throwback.
It just
to the
felt
third
so
one.
over the top. There's so many. You didn't hear
that's true.
any of these people walking in. You know what I mean? Let's see. Okay, let's see. This is from James Smith. He says, even though I do think Paranormal Activity 4 is deserving of the scone it tends to get from the online fan community, I do think people are a little harsh on the marked ones. Well, let's jump into it because I'm done with Paranormal Activity 4. There's really not much else to say. I will say I do think the marked ones is better than Paranormal Activity 4, but it's still for me. It's still for me isn't saying much.
Yeah.
It does some stuff that is interesting for sure. The demon's a little bit different, and it does set it in a different environment.
That wasn't Toby, was it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't really know.
Yeah,
it eventually ties in
Yeah.
to this shit somehow, because obviously this is like a Latino family,
Yeah.
and it's taking place in a different setting. It's trying to it eventually does take over this main character, and they treat him almost like a superhero, which
Felt
some
like
of the stuff.
Chronicle. I was like, it's like a horror version of Chronicle.
Right,
I'm like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And some of those aspects I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I will say that there is one scene in this movie that fucking
You love
terrified
this
me.
scene.
I love this
Yeah.
scene. So what they're trying to do, they painted a mirror completely black so they can, I guess, call out to something or summon something, and they're in a church. It's the three friends, and they're doing this ritual with candles lit and everything. And just very subtly in the background, after they say this little seance and they think nothing is happening, there is like a winged creature that it just starts spreading its wings very, very slowly.
Very subtle.
If you just look in the background and you watch it, it is so scary. I can't even take it. I can't even take thinking about. I can't.
You
I'm
okay?
looking behind me.
You
No,
okay
it's fine. It's
then?
fine. I
Okay.
thought there was something behind me.
Okay, now you're making fun of me for getting scared.
Yeah, it's
We gotta start
lights.
recording these things at like midnight, dude. We gotta start
It's
recording
pretty
them during
close.
the day.
It's almost haunting hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
I do generally think that is a really, really effective and
Yeah.
great scene. I mean, acting is okay. I don't think
I
it's
don't get
necessarily.
why they recorded the movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's kind of the thing where you can't really think about them recording the whole time. It's
The
just
fourth one, you at least you get it, kind of, even though the technology doesn't make sense. You get why
Yeah.
you were watching it because the technology they
this
said
one.
it
I
worked
think
that way.
I think it was just they recorded him for graduation, and they just kind of kept going with it. And then
Yeah.
as soon as he started getting all these kind of powers, if you
I guess
will,
they're
it's like let's record
recording
it.
just
Let's
to- yeah.
record it.
Hmm.
Hey, this one's the funniest one.
Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty fun.
Yeah, some of the characters are a little bit silly.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Shall we talk about the infamous ending?
The
to this
infamous
movie?
ending. Yeah, why
Anything else you
not?
want to say about the rest of the movie?
I mean, I like
I
some
don't
of the
have too much
stuff.
to say.
I do like some of the stuff with the neighbor, like the downstairs neighbor, when they sneak
Okay.
into her house
Yeah.
and they kind of find all these ritual type of things, and then it ties back into that one like smart kid that they run into at the beginning, and like he was kind of part of it at the very start. Like he was the one that passed it down or whatever, and kind of started the whole thing. And it does involve like the gangs and everything. But like that stuff just not really scared me. But yeah, let's jump into this ending a little bit. So it does
Describe
like
what happens here.
it does like a weird time travel
It's like a portal.
portal
Like a
kind of thing.
dimension.
Yeah, like a dimension.
Yeah.
Like a dimension. There
that
you
they
go.
went through, and you see what happened at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
Not
You see
happy
it.
about
I
that.
don't like that either. So where was it? They're in. Where are they at the very end of this movie? The marked ones. Are they in the downstairs like neighbor's house, and they go through a door, and then
Yeah, I think so.
and then they end up in just
at the
fucking
front
Katie's house
door
of the
of
very
Katie's
first
house, yeah.
Paranormal Activity movie.
And
so
she's
essentially
just-
it's another
she's
prequel.
downstairs yelling, and then Mika comes down.
Yeah, which to their credit, it's creative. They're tying everything together, and I understand that, and especially
I didn't see
this-
that coming.
I didn't see it coming,
Give 'em
especially
that.
this is like a spin-off but still part of the series. I guess it's like 4.5 or whatever. It's tying it all together, but it's for what, like, it's not really furthering the story. It's just showing you, like, it tries to do like an Insidious 2 where it's like, hey, remember how this happened?
Yeah.
This is the reason why we did it. So, and I think they were trying to just do that for shock value, like, okay, they're connected. They're connected somehow, And so, now that I think about it, there's two like demon
I was
possessed
thinking
people
about
out
that
there.
too.
They're,
So
like,
are they both going to be in number 5 now?
yeah, they could definitely
have
both
to
of them
be, right?
can be coming back,
Yeah.
because he's the one that got away too.
Yeah.
And in this one, they do the stupid change ghost monster face or whatever too. I will say, like, seeing Katie, like, stab Mika to death briefly was kind of cool. Yeah. If that actually, I believe that actually happens. But other than that, I don't like the fact that they kind of ruin the imagination.
Best part of that first movie was not knowing what was going on.
And it's fine. I can still, like, block it out of my head. It's not the worst thing in the world. But definitely, if I had to, like, rank this franchise, it'd be 3, 1, 2, marked ones, 4.
That'd be mine, too.
Yeah, like, I just... It's marked ones isn't necessarily terrible. It's not as terrible as I thought it was going to be, and it doesn't necessarily bring the franchise down as much as the fourth movie. But still, not a whole lot. It's very forgettable. It's very typical. Some cool things. The trailer I thought was actually pretty decent for it. When he's like pulling the shit out of his eye, I thought that was silly. I liked when they're playing the game with the demon and he falls backwards and he's unable to land and the friend doesn't. He just falls flat on his face. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, and then acting's fine overall. Yeah, just again, it's pretty. It
just wasn't scary for me. You know what I mean?
No,
with the exception of that church scene, there was really nothing that was creepy.
No,
enough for me at least.
And so, coming to a close here, as we get prepared for, the ghost dimension.
We're going to do a full episode on that, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to have
We've been attached to the series. We have to do a full
episode. Yeah, absolutely. And supposedly, this has been stated that this is the final movie. It is the final one in the franchise.
I don't think they're doing that.
Believe it if you will, if you want. It's okay. I've been gullible before. Because this movie probably, the fourth and marked ones probably didn't. I don't think they made as much money as
when they made consider their budget, amount. It made them a profit, but it's not nearly as much as
budget's like a cricket and a Snicker bar, as Christian would say,
cricket and a Snicker bar,
whatever he would say.
Okay.
But the trailer. What are your overall thoughts? What do you think about the Ghost Dimensions trailer?
I watched pretty much it. Eric Striffler said it perfectly. There are parts in this that are awesome. The part where they're watching the old footage and someone sneezes and they're like, "Bless you," that's freaking terrifying. The rest of it, though, doesn't do anything for me.
I thought I agree to that too, but I will say that what ruins that is the trailer itself. It's not a good cut trailer. It's like it's like bless you.
It's a bad trailer.
It's like bless you.
Yeah,
they're brothers. Like, it's just, you don't need to intensify. Like, we know that this is going to be a scary movie. Don't try to scare us so much where it feels so forced. But I think that's a cool element. It's definitely, again, back to the whole creative thing. That's very Paranormal Activity for them to do something creative like that.
So they have they have a video camera. Yeah. That apparently has a weird filter on it where you can see shit.
Yeah, I'm not too sold on that.
It's a creepy Instagram filter. I can't wait for this marketing to go through.
I like the sense that that's where all the 3D is going to be with all the monsters or demons and stuff. Yeah. I guess that's going to be cool, but that's not scary to me either. Anytime there's something special effects in a horror film, it always takes me out of it. I think that's why I'm not a big fan of like Drag Me to Hell, because it's very special effects heavy.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would do something like that. Why not be practical? And there's certain shots where I'm pretty sure they showed the demon. Like, I'm pretty sure.
I hope that's just a decoy and that's not Toby. Because
the decoy
if they show
ghost.
Toby, I'm gonna be really mad. Because now when I go back and watch the first 4, first 4, you're gonna be thinking, oh, well, that's not, as scary as I thought that was.
I kind of just hope he's like Kunta Kinte and he pops up and he's like, "Your name is Toby, boy." like just he's gonna pop out of nowhere, you know. If the actor's still alive.
Is it the camera from the third movie? I think.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah,
okay.
Big ass thing.
I just wanted to confirm. Yeah.
And it doesn't really necessarily give away. Like, that little girl looked familiar. She looked really, really familiar. I didn't know who she was. But I don't know who this new family is. It just seems like a new family. I think they moved into the Paranormal Activity 3 family's house.
Oh, really?
It's what it seems like. That's where they got all the video cameras. I just think that's so silly, where it's like, oh, the old family members left these cameras, these videos and stuff for us here. It's just typical stuff. I don't care for them. I don't care for them going into an actual ghost dimension.
Why is it called the ghost dimension? You can call it anything else.
It could have
anything else to describe this filter that you have on this camera.
It could have been shitballs or Popopo, and it could have been fucking cooler than the ghost dimension. The ghost dimension.
Ghost dimension.
Gosh, man, we've got to go back into the ghost dimension. Fucking say that shit seriously. So, I don't know. I'm hoping it's just a case of shitty trailer cool movie. I hope it ties everything together.
Oh, I hope they stick this.
Yeah.
I want to remember this series.
I would
fondly.
love
really
for
do.
it to go out with the bang, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it's the case where first 3 are great, last 3 aren't good, then possibly that's what it's gonna be. Who's directing this one?
I have no
Let me look
earthly
that up for that.
idea. I
Dance
know it's
Monkey
not
Dance.
the same guys who did 3 and 4. I'm assuming they got the boot after that.
Yeah.
But I think they're working on the Catfish show right now. Those
God,
guys, or they're
that
producers
thing's
on
still
it.
alive?
Yeah, it's still going. That's actually a very
Gosh.
popular show. This is the part of the show where Cobbster looks up information, and I talk about MTV shows. There's
Okay.
Catfish. There's Teen Wolf.
Okay. The director is Gregory Plotkin, which it doesn't really have anything behind me. It's written by Jason Pagan and Andrew Stark. Don't know what those guys have done.
I think they're from the series.
They're from the series too. Well, God damn it, you fucking IMDb. Continue to cite. Okay. Let's see. Director. There we go. Let's see what this guy has done.
I want to say he was like an AD on one of the other movies.
He has directed 2 films, and he did a short called Black Mass, but this is his second movie, so he hasn't done anything.
Hey, give him a shot.
Hopefully. You never know. I mean, that's I can't remember if I brought this up. I think I brought this up on Schmoes last week.
Oh, yeah?
Or a week before, is that the problem with a lot of horror films today is that they're getting like first-time directors to do these fucking things, and they just don't turn as well. They either get bullied by studios or they can't really do everything that they want to do. They need to get great directors. Imagine if like Guillermo said, "Hey, I want to do the 6th Paranormal Activity movie." He was like,
give credibility to it. Like,
what
kind of story do you want to tell here?
Could you imagine that? The camera
Yeah.
would be like fucking video-dromed into someone's penis, and they'd be filming it the whole time. Like crazy.
It'd be a journey into the penis dimension.
Yeah. Fucking sounds a lot more interesting than the ghost dimension.
Ghost dimension is like a spooky Halloween special of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm thinking of.
The ghost dimension. It sounds like a
Twilight Zone episode.
An episode of Twilight Zone or like Courage the Cowardly Dog or something like that, So, I mean, fingers crossed. We may sound very cynical about it, but I mean, it's
just one trailer.
It is.
We're
it
judging
absolutely
2
is.
minutes of a movie. It could be great.
I mean, I'm not gonna watch anything else for it. I'm gonna go see it just because it's got the name Paranormal Activity. So hopefully, I mean, we're hoping that it's good, and hoping that you guys are gonna enjoy it as well. I hope we all enjoy it, and I hope it's fucking scary. I just want it to be scary.
I want to be scared.
And if not scary, just decent, at least better than 4. So that's gonna wrap it up for this whole franchise thing on Paranormal Activity, guys.
What are your guys' rankings? We said before.
Yeah.
3, 1, 2.
Oh,
4.
which by the way, so check this out. I did this when the Ghost Dimension. God damn it!
Stop saying it. Just say Paranormal
when the
5.
last Paranormal Activity trailer came out. I did a little bit of like a survey kind of thing. So what this is that my buddy John that I work with, him and his buddy, they created an app called Cuvo, and it's really, really awesome. It's both friendly for Android and the fucking Apples, the iPhone. That's what they're fucking called.
the fucking Apples.
The fucking Apples.
Okay, Grandpa.
Those Apple ones. The Jobs fucking phone. I really suggest you guys go and check this thing out. I'm gonna be using this thing. So what I'll do is, I think I did which one. For the first poll that I did, I said, which of these Paranormal Activities you thought was the best one? So maybe I'll do like a little poll thing on this app saying, rank these ones. How would you rank them? And it's because it's a really, really cool app. You're able to adjust it however you want. I highly suggest you download it, especially because we're going to be using it a lot.
What's the app called?
It's called Cuvo. It's QVO.
Okay.
Just go to the iTunes store or whatever, however you get apps on Android. I haven't had an Android in a while. I don't remember how to do it. But definitely download it. It's worth it. It's really fast, and it's a lot of fun. And you guys, especially since we're all into movies and stuff, you guys can use it easily. It's Facebook and Twitter friendly. So definitely go and check it out. I recommend it, and I'm going to be using it a lot, so get it. It's going to make it easier.
I have a Netflix recommendation.
Oh, you do?
I have one this
forgot
week.
we do those things.
Yeah, you forget that. Did you hear that?
That's Ringo.
Oh, it's
fucking
Ringo. Fuck you, Ringo. Oh
Ringo
my god.
is fucking snoring right now. It's okay, buddy.
Cobbster's dog just scared.
What would you do right now if he turned and he's like, "Come play with me, Cody"?
I would.
Billy.
Ringo, stop it! Oh my god.
Ringo. Aw, look at it.
He's
How
like,
could you be mad at that little Ewok?
I'm sorry, buddy. Anyway, Netflix recommendation. This is a movie that Alicia Malone actually brought up when she was on. Hello, it's Alicia Malone.
She hates when I do that.
Really?
Sorry.
Okay.
It's not Australian at all.
It's the best. It's called A Girl Walks Home Alone Tonight. Remember this?
Yeah. I put that in my queue.
I think you'd hate it. I don't think you'd like it really that much at all. It's not. I don't know. It's a hipster movie.
The lead character is a woman.
I know you.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a hipster movie. You know what I mean? It's for like film people.
Look,
it seems like it was made in 1950.
Look, I don't mind that shit all the damn time.
Okay.
As long as it's not in my face.
I'm giving you a heads up though that's what type of movie this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there like a Mumford & Song?
No, but there is a hipster song in there that I actually really like.
Is it like one of those ones where it's like, where the Wild Things Are song? I fucking hate that song.
That. It's actually a very good song.
Okay.
But when it came on, I was really confused. So this takes place in like Israel or something like that.
Yeah.
It's weird,
it's about vampires, right?
Yeah. It's about this one vampire, and it's not really. There's one scene that's terrifying.
Black and white.
Yeah, it's black and white. It's in a foreign language. There's subtitles and all that.
Oh, fuck that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think you'd
There's
like
no
this.
explosions or boobs? Sorry.
No explosions or
thank
boobs.
you.
No, there are some boobs, actually.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
still, sorry.
boobs.
It's in subtitles.
Anyway.
Subtitle boobs.
It's not for everybody, but if you're into like artsy, fartsy type movies and you want to see something different, I'd say see this.
I don't mind it once in a while. I've honestly been, Alicia praised the shit out of it, and I'll watch anything she says, so I will definitely check it out. But yeah, you guys out there, go ahead and check it out too. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us here on HorrorFlix. Go check out Women That Walk in the Night Alone. What's it called?
A girl walks home alone at night.
Okay, well, it's fucking close, all right? A woman walks alone in the moonlight, the pale moonlight. Be sure to like us on Facebook, HorrorFlix. We just hit 600. Get us to 666, and we'll fucking summon a demon.
Don't say that. In this haunted room of yours.
You have to leave. You don't have to sleep here tonight.
Okay.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Cobbster15
at the Real Cody Hall,
and be sure to check us out on iTunes. It's going to be on the Schmozno podcast channel. Yep. Throw it a like, throw a comment down below. If you're on iTunes, subscribe to us there. Favorite, reviewed it, do all those things. Write us a nice review, and tell us why you love us, because you like us, right? Come on. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Don't know what we're going to be talking about.
We'll be drunk at Comic-Con.
It's going to be up in the air because of Comic-Con. We'll try to have something out for you guys sometime during the weekend, but we'll try something.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, so thanks guys for listening, and stay classy,
stay
San Diego. Whale's vagina.